Well, it's still going on. Happened today. Oh my God. They never quit. Um, yeah, they followed me yelling stuff. So you start rambling through the drugs and told to say stuff, the shower scene, that it's just retired Judge Pete, Michelle's family doing this, their dirty friends, and then a call. That's it. Okay? And that how they stalked me before, apparently photoshopped a shower scene, had great big bruises. I was talking to my neighbor Amy, and she had heard that they used ecstasy on me. She also heard of it meant to frame me and all kinds of crazy stuff. Well, I was letting her listen in to my two neighbors that knew I was drugged and told to say weirdo stuff. And she said, Karen, this whole thing's sick. It's really sick. What's going on? I said, I know it is. I said, that's what the Canton investigators are on me. This whole thing's sick. It's mentally ill stuff. I would like those people to go to an emergency room, look at the emergency room, and say, I think it's funny when people break in someone's door and stalk them with tiny cameras. I want them to look at the emergency room. I think it's funny when they date rape drug people and they tell them to say weirdo stuff and other stuff and they don't know what happened to them. I think it's funny to, while they're watching him and stalking him, to Photoshop shower scenes and then to cause hate crimes. I think it's funny to have people try to shoot him driving and have people up there to shoot him and hire stalkers. That I think it's funny to have people raped and then publicly humiliated. Find out what happens to you. Go in an emergency room. Tell the person at the desk that you find all this funny and see how fast you're admitted to the psych ward. And the police are called for your part. Hmm? Oh, they were driving by and they were yelling stuff and yelling stuff. So I looked up stalking charges in Ohio. Menacing, where they show up and they say stuff to me about being raped, and where they make fun of me for the shower scene and the drug confessions, and for retired Judge Pete Michelle, and then a call. They make fun of me in front of people. It's called menacing. Anytime that you cause mental harm to other people and you're following them around, and there's more to it, incidences, and it keeps happening, you're considered stalking and menacing. You And it even goes into like the victim goes out of their way not to go the same way, trying to stay away from these people, and they're still following them, still showing up at stores, saying stuff. It's 2 to 10 years. If I would pick up my phone and look at them and call the police, they would go to jail instead of me just walking off. Yeah, they said yesterday some mega man was paying for people to harass me. He can go to jail 2 to 10 years. You can't pay someone to harass a woman. Have you lost your minds? You can't. It even talks about just driving by screaming stuff. It's 2 to 10 years. Today I was in Dollar General, and some ladies came in and said the people following her realized she was drugged and told us to say it before, and nobody found any of this funny. They scattered several times. Well, they had my car bugged from where I talked to that agent, and he put me in protective life custody case. Well, they're advanced enough, they hacked into it, and they sold it by Christmas 18. And so they started following me. So if they want to be mean teenagers and mock me like this, I decided to act like a mean 5-year-old. It's like, you're in a call, so I named you. You are the Pinocchio group. You're the liar, liar, pants on fire call. I named you. I start laughing in my car. I start mocking them back. It's like, I named you. That or you're the retired Judge Pete. Kiss Michelle's family asshole. Domestic terrorism is a group of people stemming from political or religious backing to further their own ideology, which is their way of belief, okay, with threats or harm to human life, okay? Hello? Against the United States constitutional laws. What is this? Domestic terrorism at its finest. Mm-hmm. Domestic terrorism. Mm-hmm. You can go to jail the rest of your life for being part of a domestic terrorism call. So since, like Jim Jones, Charles Manson, different calls, so I decided to give this a name, called the Pinocchio Group. The Liar Liar Pants on Fire Group. They think it's funny for retired Judge Pete's dirty, mentally ill family. My ex-husband going to the store asking strangers to help kill me. Because they're mentally ill, they agree to help. Most people would have called 911. But they agreed to help because they're mentally ill and sick. And then it with drug dealers. Okay? Kicking my door 3 days later. I'm not even moved in. I mean, if you took the doorknob, you line it up with the wall at 4490 John Thomas, where the doorknob had hit it. You got kicked in while we were out. Makes up some kind of cheesy excuse that another realtor passed out keys. No other realtor could have keys. They're in a lock box with a code. It's a liability issue. We had already signed the paperwork 6 days before. It was already taken off the market. He didn't want me to report it because it was his new girlfriend's family kicking it in and setting up button cameras, stalking me. Yet, yesterday in Sheets, some guys were outside, and they said, you actually are going to be okay anymore because we've all found out that it is actually just Dave's girlfriend's family doing this. They've been telling you that for months, that it's just Judge Pete's family doing this. They bragged Memorial Day weekend 2019 at the food counter, Michelle's mother, that it was their family doing this. For it's my daughter, her husband dates. He met her in Ravenna in a store, and it's for my daughter. They did all this for, and our family watching her doing this. Then mocks me more, and said a bunch of other stuff. It's retired Judge Pete. Looks like a little white Santa Claus, friends with Timothy Ludick. And this magistrate over there, they were joking around the day of my divorce. His picture was on the wall, and he's been following me for about 4 years. Him, and that's Michelle's father, Auntie Shell, where the mean games of pretend and not a... They think it's funny to date rape, drug the wife, break in and stalk her, and watch her. They're mentally ill. Watch me in the shower, watch me make love today while she's dating my husband. You want to talk about fatal attraction? It's mentally ill stuff. Okay? And then start date rape drugging me, have the guys break in and roofie drinks, stab me with needles. It's called Needle Somebody. It's become popular in the bars. I was looking up because I had got stabbed with needles so many times up there. Okay? And even in my sleep, I'd wake up with injection marks and big marks on me. Well, it's popular now in bars. They walk up and stab you. In less than 60 seconds, your date rape drugged her sleepwalking. They use ketamine, rufinol, ecstasy, propofol, or let's see, what was, I don't know, there's a couple other ones. In 60 seconds, you're sleepwalking for 4 to 6 hours. They're human slave drugs. They don't even have to put anything in your drink. They just have to walk up and stab you. And you're gone in 60 seconds. They'd be like, and then say, let's go. And you go, okay. Because they're under their control. Scary. Don't go to the bar by yourself, ladies. It's becoming more popular. That somebody roofied my neighbor Mike in the bar. Told you he didn't know how he got home. He didn't know he went to the bank. He didn't know he went out to eat. And he didn't know he told everybody he was an astronaut. But yeah, everybody, the police know about the shower scene, the all drugs and told to say stuff. with their illegal stalking tapes. They're not admissible. And because they were done by stalking by the girlfriend's family and friends, they just hire all these slug people that are mentally ill to follow me around and harass me. And if I would actually pick up my phone when they come in a store, I get their picture and I get their plate. And if I say something to them, say, hey, I got the police coming. I got your picture and I'm calling on them. Instead of just telling the police where to go pull it later. Guess who's going to go to jail? Huh? Guess who's going to go to jail 2 to 10 years for being part of a stalking and menacing group in domestic terrorism? There. They had no right in my home. Dave's girlfriend's family had no right kicking in my door. They sure as hell didn't have the right to break in and date rape drug me. And they didn't have a right to Photoshop a shower scene in washing to make me look weird and then share it with weirdos. And how dare they invade my privacy, my right to remain quiet, my right to an attorney, my right to a fair court trial, bail, and bond, and my right not to be mistreated. They don't have a right to be serial killers and stalkers and attempted murderers and druggers and extortionists. They didn't have a right to do these violent, vicious crimes to me. They did not have a court order to watch me. There is no such thing. It's private property. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life, and they have to speak to everyone before they start, or it goes into the right of privacy, Fourth Amendment, illegal search and seizure, and the officers go to jail up to 5 years. And it's not admissible. Conflict of interest charges for a judge's family in that county is 1 to 10 and $1 million fine. And for every constitutional right broke, it's 1 to 10. That's why all the officers are out there. We had nothing to do with anybody being in your home before a protected light case. We had no knowledge of what these people were saying. And what these people were saying they did is illegal. I said, you couldn't look at, listen to it, da 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 da. Fourth Amendment. Yes. We were not in your home or anyone else's home. It would be illegal. They admitted to paying off that agent. They admitted to drug and telling me to say whatever it is. And what's amazing, people didn't see shower scenes. People didn't have drug confessions. They photoshopped everything in and out. And then created their hate crime and storm. And these people even if you drive by somebody and you scream stuff at them, you can go to jail 2 to 10 years. Do they really want me to start picking up my phone and actually calling 911 instead of walking away? They can't drive by. They can't call my work. They can't call anybody I work with. They can't slander me. They can't make up their little lies. And I have no charges. I have one traffic ticket from 1989. I went back for another BCI background check for a different place. And you know what? There was a girl in there. She's like, well, I got one parking ticket from a long time ago. And that's it. On my record, I don't worry about it. It's like, well, I got one traffic ticket from 89. I paid mine. I don't worry about it either. She started laughing. It's what happens when you're home health care. You have to be squeaky clean. She was getting her FBI background check. I just had to have a state one this time. I can pass both. There's nothing. Not even an accusation. Because to cover that agent's ass, he opened a protected light case, turned it over to the police, and walked away. Had an officer talk today, September 27th, 18. And there's so many crimes in that legally bugged house. It's a household before. Has anybody ever been so afraid when they breathed, their breath was cold leaving their body, and they laid underneath blankets and shivered from fear? I know that people have where they sell the login to the case because they're that advanced. People scream. Did you see what they did to her? She's lucky to be alive after what they did. And these are the ones that were helping trying to kill me. I told you. The people that were hired to help protect me. Some idiot man showed up there for my ex-husband and Michelle. Told him he was for the enemy. Older African-American man. Short top hat, slightly graying. That he was running it. They followed him like mindless children. That no one was allowed to help me. They had to listen to him. He even told them he was for David and Michelle. And you know what? They listened to him, knowing he worked for the enemy. How stupid were they? She almost got shot in the head driving. You can't pull her out. The guy running it won't let you. He wasn't running it. He worked for the enemy, dumbasses. The guy running it won't let us help her on the shooting night. We had to stay out of it. We'd get in trouble. You call the police and you do your damn job. And you report him that he's trying to have me murdered. There has to be some kind of common sense in these people. They follow these people. It's in a call. They follow them like mindless children. Ed at the Oakland apartment that told on him for photoshopping and date rape targeting me. He said it's like the COVID virus has affected people's minds. They all went crazy and they don't understand right from wrong anymore. Or something like that. He said it's like they've all lost sense of reality. That was it. All sense of reality. He said they've all went mentally ill. He said he didn't say right from wrong. I take that back. He said, how did he say it? He said the COVID virus seems to have affected everybody's mind. It's like they have lost all sense of reality. He said, and they do what they're told. He did say that part too. He said, I think it's the COVID virus syndrome. It's like they don't have a mind of their own. And he was in there rambling. And yeah, he was in there just how bad people act anymore. It's not funny. And they worship these people like they're gods. And they're nothing but a cult leaders, a domestic terrorism group that's running it. My one friend Walter used to work for the prosecutor's office. It's just a fraud scheme down here. Trying to say they had a quarter watch me when there's no such thing. They can't take my constitutional rights away. And until that agent took my statement and agreed to protect me and the officer talked to Dave, no one could be in my home. Even the police said that. It'd be illegal to look or listen. They can't even look at their dates. They're not enterable. They can't enter them because they were stalking me. And then they already know they photoshopped and date raped her at the Canton police now. And all the police know now. We're looking for who's behind it. And like I said yesterday, some guys walked up. We realized it's just Dave's girlfriend's family doing this. Retired serial killing Judge Pete. It's not funny. And neither are these people following him like a god. It's sick. They did that for other cult leaders. They know better. This whole thing's mentally sick. These people participating, they need to walk into a hospital, look at the desk, and say, I think it's funny stalking people. I think it's funny breaking in and watching them with cameras. I think it's funny photoshopping shower scenes. I think it's funny date rape targeting people and telling them to say something stupid and then being part of a hate crime harassing that poor victim. I think it's funny trying to murder them. Hmm? I think it's funny having them stalked. I think it's funny to extort money and items out of attempted murder. Huh? I think it's funny trying to kill them. I think it's funny watching them get raped and tortured trying to help someone. Tell them go tell them you think it's funny. Tell them you think it's funny, people. Tell a nurse and a doctor in a hospital you think everything they did to me is funny. And see how fast you get admitted to the psych ward for being a sociopath, schizophrenic, huh? Or a psychopath. And you're listed dangerous in society. Go tell in a hospital and they'll get the police on you. For your part, you'll still go to jail. Go tell an emergency room nurse that all these things that happened to me, you are part of it, and you think it's funny. See how fast you get admitted to a psychiatric ward. Go tell them, say, I think this is funny. I think this is funny. And see how fast you get admitted. Because normal compensation of, oh my God. People call these people reprobate bastards, asses. They can't quit swearing. Like lady showed up in Dollar General. Everyone following her today, nobody thought this funny. They know they drugged her and told her to say it before. They've been telling them for a year ago, last May 25th of 21. So a year and a half, they've been telling them I was drugged and told to say it. And they follow these people like mindless children. They have told them that it was a shower scene for a very long time too. And they still find all these lowlifes with no IQs to follow me and harass me and slander me. Because that's all they can do. Because it's just David's girlfriend, family, and friends. Because they actually tell a real officer they did it. They may tell Joe Schmo they did it. But they can't tell an officer. We stalked Karen. We're the ones you're looking for. Because it's at least 10 years in federal. And these people driving by screaming, you want me to call the police? You want to follow me and I start picking up my phone and take pictures of you? And you go to jail for menacing and stalking? See, that Pizza Hut lady saying she got paid to watch me. She should have went to jail for stalking and possibly menacing. Katie Brothers leaving threats in the mall that her church had planned to kill me. It's conspiracy to commit murder. Huh? She should have went to jail 5 to 10 years. You can't do any of this. They have no authority. I have nothing against me. It's just Dave's girlfriend's family. And heard their dirty friends slander me and stalking me. They need to stop helping the Fatal Attraction family and his dirty church. They were the Pinocchio group. I named them. They want to act like mean teenagers and think it's funny doing this to me? I act like a mean 5-year-old. They're the Pinocchio group, the liar, liar, pants on fire. Girls walked into Macy's a few weeks ago. They told everybody you had charges against you, and we found out there's nothing, and they made everything up. It's like you're slow, right? I never stood in front of a judge with a prosecutor and my attorney to have charges placed. I've never been questioned with Miranda rights or wrongdoing, and I've never been prosecuted. So do I have something? Are they the Pinocchio group? They're the liar, liar, pants on fire. They made everything up on me.